Welcome back, dear children. My dear children, in the first part, we have learned that Alice, she drank a liquid because of which she reduced in size to 10 inches. Now let us see what happens next. First, however, she waited for few minutes to see if she was going to shrink any further. She felt a little nervous about this, for it might end, said Alice to herself, in my going out altogether like a candle. I wonder what I would look like then. And she tried to fancy what the flame of a candle is like after the candle is blown out, for she could not remember having seen such a thing. So what happens, my dear children? First, she waited that maybe she may reduce further. But at the same time, she was very nervous because she was thinking what would happen if she would reduce to such an extent that she would not exist only. She was thinking that she is reducing like a candle. What would happen if she would reduce like a candle? You might have seen a burning candle. How a candle, it reduces in size when it is being burned. So she was wondering what would happen if she would reduce in size just like a candle. And she started to fancy out that what would happen if she would reduce to such an extent like a candle, and when a candle is completely reduced in size, only the flame is left. Now what would happen if this flame will also disappear? If this flame will also reduce in size, for she has never seen such a thing. After a while, finding that nothing more happened, she decided on going into the garden at once. When she got to the door, she found she has forgotten the little golden key, and when she went back into the table for it, she found she could not reach it. When she had tried herself out with trying, the poor little thing sat down and cried. So what happens after that, my dear children? Alice, she decided to go into that garden, but unfortunately she left that golden key on that table and her height was reduced. She was only 10 inches now and she was unable to get that key. So she became very sad. Then what happens? Let us see. Come, there's no use in crying like that, said Alice to herself rather sharply. I advise you to leave off this minute. Soon her eye fell on a little glass box that was lying under the table. She opened it and found in it a very small cake on which the words "Eat me" was beautifully marked in currants. Then what happened? First, she advised herself that she should leave off from there within a minute. Okay? Then suddenly, she saw a little glass box lying under the table. You can see that she saw a little glass box. In that box, there was a small cake. And on that cake, it was written, "Eat me." "Eat me" was beautifully marked in currants. Currants means small, dark, dried, seedless grapes. In Hindi, you call it as kishmish. Okay? In Hindi, you call it as kishmish. Well, I'll eat it, Alice said. And if it makes me grow larger, I can reach the key. And if it makes me grow smaller, I can creep under the door. So either way, I'll get into the garden. And I don't care what happens. Now what happens? She thought that she will eat it. Maybe she may grow tall enough to take that key. Maybe she may grow more smaller, so small that she can even creep from the door. She can creep through the door and enter into the garden. She didn't care what will happen next. She decided that she will eat that cake. She ate a little bit and said anxiously to herself, "Which way, which way?" holding her hand on the top of the head to feel which way it was growing. And she was quite surprised to find that she remained the same size, to be sure. This generally happens when one eats cake. But Alice had got so much into the way of expecting nothing but out of the way things to happen, it seemed quite dull and stupid for life to go on in the common way. So she set to work and very soon finished off the cake. Alice, she was very anxious. She was very nervous. She thought that she thought that what would happen. She started saying which way, which way. She started touching her head, seeing whether she is growing or whether she is shrinking. She was so much into the thing of expecting things. So much into the expecting things. Expecting things means, my dear children, expecting things means that she was expecting that after eating that cake, her height will reduce. But nothing happened. She was of the same size. And this generally happens when you eat a cake. I mean to say that cake, when you eat a cake, nothing happens. Now, my dear children, in general, nothing happens. You don't reduce in size. But she was so much into that thing, expecting for different thing. Okay, expecting something out of the way, expecting some strange things, that it was seeming to be quite dull, quite silly thing that eating a cake will reduce your height or will increase your height. Okay, when she drank that liquid, her height reduced, and she was expecting more, that when she will eat that cake, something new will happen, and this generally doesn't happen. So she decided that let it be in the same way. She will simply go and eat the cake. So she finished off her cake very soon. I hope you have understood, my dear children. Please read this chapter at home. Okay?